Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be taking a look at this bit of news that just got posted just a couple hours ago. Just a couple of hours ago, as you can see right there, you can see the timestamp right there, 8:06 p.m. on October 28, 2020, just a couple of hours from when I'm recording this video. And this bit of news that we're watching, this answer or the announcement that you're seeing right now on screen, it does answer a question that people, maybe even you guys, end up asking yourselves, every now and then. Why why are people just not as interested in Hollywood, or I guess I should say the content that Hollywood is putting out? Like, why are people not as invested as they used to be? Like, let's say maybe 5, 10 years ago. Why are people just not as invested as they used to be? Why are people turning to other forms of entertainment like YouTube? Like, a lot of people these days, if you would ask them, like, what's the thing that you do now to to just help pass the time, to keep yourself entertained, I'm willing to bet a lot of people will answer the question with, well, you know what, I just go to YouTube and I watch content made by other, content creators, just regular people like myself who, put their time and effort into making videos. And the reason why, at least I think, the reason why they go to YouTube and watch content made by other creators, other people just like themselves, instead of going to Hollywood and, watching scripted television, I think that one of the biggest reasons is because of things like this. So, what's this an announcement that they just put out? Well, this is from the official Looney Tunes Twitter account, and as you can see right there, HBO Max just retweeted it. You heard it here first. HBO Max and Cartoon Network are bringing back Tiny Toons with the new series Tiny Toons Looniversity. Acme Acres gonna be lit. Lit. They had to use the word lit. So yeah, Tiny Toons, a show that ended a long time ago, is coming back, and this time instead of going to be in instead of being in a school, it seems like they're going to go to a university. Now, here's the thing: do I think they're going to do what a lot of shows that do to go to university? Like, are they going to talk about some more, a little bit more adult stuff, like, I don't know, drugs, relationships, and all that stuff? No, I mean they did sort of cover that. Well, they sort of covered it in the original Tiny Toons show. I do still remember there was that one episode where you had the three guys. One of them you can see right there, Buster, if I'm remembering his name right. Basically, him and I think his name was Plucky and Porky. Again, it's been a while since I've seen this show. I can't remember if those are their names exactly. But basically, what ended up happening is they found a beer bottle, and the entire episode was supposed to be about like the dangers of alcohol and why you should stay away from it. And it's funny because the network saw it and decided, yeah, we can't have this episode on air, so they didn't air the episode. But I think you can still find it if you look for it. I mean, I saw it. I thought it was pretty funny. I mean, I didn't see any harm in it. I mean, it's obvious that they were painting drinking as a bad thing, and I know a lot of people don't really agree with that. But I think that the whole point of the episode was about teaching them, like, like, you shouldn't go too far with your drinking. Like, you should take it in moderation, just like with everything else in your life. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. The show in itself, back then, like, it was pretty good. Like, I still remember watching it when I was a kid, and I loved it. But here's the thing: the show ended. It ended a long time ago. Like, I just, and yet here you are, and you're bringing it back. And again, this is why a lot of people are just tuning away, or they're turning away from Hollywood, because they either bring back shows that ended a long time ago, and no doubt it's going to be absolutely worse because it's 2020, unfortunately, or I don't know, whenever the hell this is going to come out, 2021, 2022, I don't know. But anything post 2015 is just, it's very rare if anything post 2015 is good. It's very, very rare that that happens. Especially when they bring back old properties, it's mostly just because it's well known. People know Tiny Toons. People will look at this and say, "Hey, yeah, I remember Tiny Toons when I was a kid. Sure, I'll give this a watch." And hey, a lot of people who were young when they watched Tiny Toons back when it aired are people like me. And except, now we're older, and a lot of people are probably like they've probably gotten married by now. They have kids. They're probably going to look at this and say, you know what? Hey, I remember Tiny Toons. I can, when this does come out, I can show my kid. I'm sure he or she is going to love it. But here's the thing, like you, again, this is why it's just this is the only reason they're bringing it back. It's because it's known. It's because Hollywood right now doesn't want to take a risk on anything new. They don't want to put in the money, or they don't want to invest their money in a show that is genuinely new with a new concept, and one that doesn't already have an existing fan base, but they still choose to invest in it because they think, no, oh, this could be something. They don't do that. And whenever they do choose to invest in a new series, they usually don't promote it as much as they do with shows like this that are either sequels or reboots of shows that have already existed and shows that already have a pre-existing fan base. And you just know that when the show eventually does come out, although, because considering this says Tiny Toons Looniversity, I'm assuming it's going to be a sequel to the show that already ended a long time ago, is that they're just going to completely just, because the whole thing about Tiny Toons is that it was never, about, it never had like a plot. It was never about the story. Each episode was its own self-contained, short. It was one of those shows where each episode had its own self-contained story, and it was like, it was a comedy show. And I'm afraid that what they're gonna do is that the episodes that are gonna come out are just gonna tackle topics that are sort of, like they're only gonna be relevant today. But then when you watch it again in like 5 years, when nobody's even talking about what happened in 2020, like you're gonna watch the episodes and you're not gonna get any of the jokes because it's of the time, and that's just like that's what I'm afraid of. And again, Hollywood needs to stop doing this. If they seriously want people to get back to watching them, then they need to start investing on new shit. They need to start investing on new shows that, don't have a fan base. And yes, it is going to be a risk, especially if it's an animated series, considering how expensive animated shows are. But they need to do that if, like, you know the saying, like, you need to spend money to make money. You got to invest. You got to be willing to invest. You got to be willing to take a risk on a new show that you believe is going to build a fan base over time, and you need to commit to it. Okay, like genuinely put in the work. Try to get the show out to as many people as possible, but make sure the show is good. Okay, like I understand you want to make money off the show, but you need to give the people who make the show the freedom to make what they want to make. You can still have your input every now and then. Try to tell them, listen, we're willing to invest it, but you got to make sure that this show can be marketed. Which, by the way, I think is good advice for anyone out there who wants to make their own show. Like, if you're going to make your own show, especially your own animated show, that's something you got to take into consideration, because especially if you want to pitch your show to a studio, you got to be willing to let them know, okay, how can you make money off this show that I'm pitching to you? Like, you got to take that into consideration. So when you do that, the studios or the network will look at it and they'll say, okay, yes, we are going to take a risk, but from the way you pitched it to us, it seems like we will be able to market this and we will be able to make money off this. We will be able to make money off, merchandise, T-shirts, posters, toys, and other things. We'll be able to sell like maybe advertisements for the show. And it's just, but the problem is that the studios today seem less and less inclined to do that, and more inclined to just bringing back old shows that have already died a long time ago. Or I guess I shouldn't say died; they've ended a long time ago. No one, I haven't heard anyone talking about Tiny Toons in years. I mean, every once in a while I'll go back and watch some of my favorite episodes, but that's only because, again, someone like me grew up watching this show. But kids today have no idea what Tiny Toons are. They're not going to be invested in this. They're not even good. They're like, again, this show, it's obvious that they're primarily aiming this towards, again, people like me, older audiences who saw this back when who saw the original back when it first aired, and are probably going to be interested in checking it. But you can't keep doing this, because most people are going to look at this and say, oh, it's another sequel to a show that ended a long time ago. Great. I'm not interested. I'm not interested. And they did the same thing. Yeah, you can see right here. They did the same thing with Animaniacs. Apparently, they're doing the same thing with Scooby Doo. I don't follow Scooby Doo. Well, yeah, I'll get this person says right here. To be fair, Scooby Doo never really left. Yeah, they already brought back Animaniacs. There was the trailer, that insanely cringy trailer that came out, and apparently they're doing the same thing with Tom and Jerry. I didn't even know this, but yeah, Tom and Jerry, another show that ended a long time ago, is going to be making a comeback. And again, I this isn't what I want to hear from Hollywood. Like, hey, do you remember this show that ended a long time ago? Well, guess what? We're bringing it back. No, I don't care. That show ended. That show ended. Unless it's a show that you know what they could do. Unless it's a show like the 2011 Thundercats that ended after the first season, that where they didn't get to continue the story. If they were to come out with, if Warner Brothers were to come out and say, hey guys, remember the 2011 Thundercats? Well, guess what? It's coming back, and we will be producing the second season of that show. You will finally get to see a conclusion to that story. If they did that, you will actually get an audience, because there are a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, including myself, who want to see a conclusion to that story. But again, I think I heard somewhere that they can't do that because they sort of wrote it off as a tax, something, whatever. So they, like, legally they can't bring it back. Although, I mean, I'm telling you, like, if they find a workaround, if they find some way to bring that back and actually, produce the second season of that show, and bring back all the people who worked on it and say, hey, listen, guys, you'll get to actually work on the second season this time. You'll get to actually finish your story. Although I think the most difficult part about that would be the voice actors. I don't know if any of them would. I don't know if any of them would be willing to come back. I mean, I guess maybe. It'll depend. It wouldn't hurt to ask. But anyway, there is something else that I sort of want to talk about, since we're talking about since I went on and on talking about how they need to bring in news shows. I did get to see another tweet. Now, this was posted by Cartoon Network, another another tweet that HBO Max retweeted, and they said, "Get excited for Unicorn Warriors Eternal, a new series with HBO Max and Cartoon Network." And this is the part that really caught my attention. This is from Gendy Tartakovsky, creator of Dexter's Lab and Samurai Jack. Unicorn follows a team of Asian heroes here to protect the world from darkness. Now, I'm not gonna lie, just looking at this poster, I am sort of. This has caught my attention. Now, see, here's the thing. If they were to do more things like this, especially if they have someone like Gendy Tartakovsky behind it, this will get people's attention, because he made Dexter's Lab, Samurai Jack, and he made Primal, this new animated series, which I'm telling you is absolutely fantastic. I still haven't watched all the episodes. I need to go back and finish that show. I loved absolutely everything about it, especially since there's absolutely no dialogue, at least from the episodes that I've seen, and it is absolutely beautiful and phenomenal. And if he's the one that's going to be helming this project, I have no doubt that it's going to be fantastic if they actually let him work his magic and they don't actually get involved. So yeah, I'm telling you, if they were to do more things like this and less things like this, then Hollywood will start to get more and more people back. They'll start to get more and more people who are going to get reinvested in Hollywood and the content that they're putting out. Just less of this, more of this, okay? So I think I've said everything I wanted to say about about this announcement that they just made. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening as always. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, please remember to leave a like, share the video, and leave a comment letting me know your thoughts as always, guys. Trust me, I always love hearing from you guys. And please consider joining me tomorrow, because that is when I plan to go live, and it is the same time as always. I'm hoping you guys will actually get notified, and you can be notified if you click on the bell icon after you subscribe to my channel. Thank you again so much. Please remember to stay safe and take care of yourselves, and consider joining me for the next video. Bye for now.